Hey everyone, it's Lily here for the Faction and Kill Your Stereo. Look, it's not often that I get to talk to two brand new bands debuting their very first song in 1 week, but here I am chatting to my second of the day. Your new faves, named Five Island Drive, have just hit the scene with their first track, The Record. I'm joined today by vocalist Frankie Jean, and let me tell you, she is about to blow your fucking socks off. Welcome, Frankie.
Thank you so much for having us. It's just amazing to be launching and having people sort of jump on board so soon. It's amazing. Thank you guys. It means a lot.
Honestly, it's my absolute pleasure. All right, let's get to it. This fucking track. I have been listening to it all week, like on repeat. Can you tell everyone who's listening and watching what the song is about?
Yeah. So the song itself was written between myself and guitarist Kim. So at the time of writing, it was really at the apex of intensity around sort of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I have some close friends who are First Nations and some friends from America and some family as well in the UK that were giving me their own context for what was going on at the time. So I wanted to write a song sort of about the concept of allyship versus sort of performative allyship. And yeah, that was kind of what was happening at the time of writing the song. So that's where that came from. But even just in general, like the song itself really is about the concept of allyship versus performative allyship. So it can apply to so many spaces, whether it be race or gender or sexuality or anything like that. So that song is kind of a little bit of a sort of, I guess, like statement of where like even if something doesn't affect you, it's really important to try your best to be an ally, because that is what really helps enact change. So yeah, that's kind of the background of the song itself.
Damn, that is powerful. Like, and it's not just in the message of the lyrical content or what you wrote it about. You can hear the power in the song. I also picked up a lot of vibes in the song, like I got some Limp Bizkit vibes at the start, a little bit of Hellions, a little bit of Ocean Grove. I'd love to hear from you, I guess, like who inspired this song, but also all of you to become a band.
Yeah, so this song and a few of the ones off a sort of EP, we was just at the time I had a solo sort of project that was a bit of everything from like hip hop to metal to rock to sort of like electronic influences, everything. And myself and Kim just started writing together just because we were just having fun, just creating music. And by the time we got to this song, I think it was about the fourth song that we wrote. Just it came together in a matter of like 3 or 4 hours. Like Kim sent me the actual song, like the instrumental, sort of as I was on a train ride between Sydney and Wollongong to my house. So I wrote the song in about like 45 minutes or something like that. So and like just the whole thing came together so quickly on the train. I raced home. I had a little home studio at the time, so I raced in there and recorded all my vocals, and it all just came together in like an hour from my end. I sent it back to him, but the immediate feeling we got after writing this song, coupled with the other ones that we'd already written at the time, we just like instantly knew that we needed to make this into an actual thing, an actual band.
Nice.
It was just like a moment of just like a moment captured, I guess, that really sort of like solidified that we really wanted to make this a permanent thing. And Brad, our drummer, had been drumming for me for my solo project Live. It was just me and him on stage, and we just had such a great working relationship that I called him, and I had assumed that he was kind of not really like keen on doing bands. He was doing a lot of sessioning for some big artists like on Triple J and stuff like that, and I assumed he was going to say, "Oh no, I'm pretty cozy," but immediately he was like, "Yes, I want to be involved." So the band just came together really naturally whilst writing, and yeah, like that's kind of how the band sort of came about. But in terms of I guess our influences and what influences us, it's really varied actually. Like I spend a lot of my time listening to like hip hop and pop and R&B and stuff like that. And but we all come from heavy backgrounds. Like I had been in heavy bands in the past, had done heavy music myself as well. Same with Kim, same with Brad, all came from heavy backgrounds. But Kim's, background as well on top of that is everything from like electronic sort of production to everything. So I don't know that we've ever really thought about another act and gone, let's sort of like write something with this sort of influence. We just like it comes from anything. Like Kim will just send me a sound. It's like a 5 second like capture of a sound, and I just go, oh, that's sick. And then just something it just writes itself from there. I can't even tell you what the process is or what the influences are, but I'm sure it has a lot to do with like whatever we're listening to at the time. I'm like every Friday I have this giant like Spotify like sort of playlist, which is every like new kind of like music that I can find that's come out that Friday, and I try to get through everything until the next Friday and then start that process again. So I spend so much time in my life on trains that I just have my music in my ear constantly, so I'm always trying to keep myself fresh with writing. I'm always trying to listen to new stuff. So I'm sure whatever at the time I was listening to had some sort of influence, but I honestly can't remember. It just all came together so quickly.
Well, it's interesting that you were, saying before there's like hip hop references, like technological references, like all kinds of different, I guess, inspirations, because when you're listening to the track, it's such a journey, and it does feel like an amalgamation, but not in a way that it's like messy or disjointed. It just works. Like it flows so nicely, but I feel like I'm listening to 10 different bands in the one song, and I love it. Like, I don't know, it's not something I've heard anything specifically like before, but it also kind of sounds like when you were saying that song, kind of came out, it's almost like you inspire yourselves.
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you so much, by the way. That's really, really lovely of you to say. Yeah, like I guess like I think one of the songs that we've written like even just came from, I was at work and Brad was working as well, and Kim just said, send me something like a melody with your mouth or like something with your mouth. So like I voice noted something and he made a whole song out of it because he's just the most like
What?
ridiculously talented person I've ever met in my life. But yeah, like I mean, we definitely inspire each other. Like sometimes there's been songs that have been written because I've just had some melody ideas and written some stuff a cappella and sent it over to Kim, and then he's just created everything underneath. And then vice versa, he'll create like a section of instrumental, and it can just take 15 seconds of instrumental for me to go, oh, I have exactly the idea for that. So I think more than anything, more than any other artist, I think we really do inspire each other, because it's just like this little world with three people who are just like, we're always constantly creating. So there's always something that sparks something else and something else. So yeah, like it's and that's the fun thing is like I think we really enjoy creating things that we feel like we haven't heard before. So
Yeah.
we take reference from anything. Like sometimes Kim will just find some like weird sort of video game sounding samples or something, and that will spark into something else, and then we'll add some like heavy guitars in there or something. So it just comes from kind of everywhere. But that's what keeps everything really exciting and fun and fresh constantly. Like we are like endlessly creating. Like we have so much music in the bank already, which is just insane to me. But having our own studio in here like really helps as well.
Honestly, what a setup. I actually can't stop looking at all the different things in the background. It's so gorgeous where you are.
There's even more on this one, I promise you.
And like I want to talk to new music, but like I can't even get past this song right now, like, because if I start thinking about the future, I'm just gonna like end up on like a bajillion like hour-long tangent, which I don't have a problem with. But before we start talking about new music, I really want you to tell everyone about the music video, like the production. And I know that you guys like have a bit of a production background. Look, I'm not even gonna try and tell this story, so why don't you give everyone a rundown of what happens in the music video?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very blessed because my creative background comes from other places that aren't necessarily like video or visual or anything like that. Whereas the other two in the band are extremely like that's what they do for a living. So Kim is one of the people that directed, co-directed the video with Elder from House Party, and Kim sort of like has worked on everything from like, you know, Polaris and North Lane, etc., etc. So he's got this really, really deep and big sort of like background of really quality sort of videos. So I feel very blessed because honestly, what I did on the day was turn up and just let people direct me, and I felt very chill while everyone else was stressed around me. But
Sometimes
the
that's
video
nice
itself,
though, right? Sometimes that's
oh,
fun. You're like, you know what? I'm just gonna rock up. Like,
yeah, and it was really nice. Like I've had other bands in the past where I've tried to be the really organized one and stressing. So it was kind of nice to turn up and be like, I don't know, just tell me what I need to do and
yeah.
I'm good. But yeah, so Kim, this was really like his baby putting together. It was his idea as well. And we wanted to just have something because even though because this song's part of like an EP that's like all sort of related around the concept of like allyship and everything. And there's like a lot of serious themes and some of the videos that we are doing, we are in the process of doing right now for the other songs. Some of them have a more serious tone. But with this one, because it is our introduction and because genuinely amongst the three of us, like we are like silly people. So we wanted something that was fun. So Kim sort of had this concept of what if we had me like act as a pest control person in a shopping center and I encounter a human-sized cockroach and we sort of shot that concept as this sort of big sort of funny, I guess, action sort of video where
It is. It's like an
things
action
kind of
film.
go. Yeah, exactly.
Like
So it was
CGI and like, what the hell?
yeah, well, it just was like a wild and fun concept, but it just ensues into like mayhem and me versus this sort of human-sized cockroach. And I won't give away too much about the ending, but I guess like the one thing to probably note about that film clip is that all the action in there, I very much performed that myself onto very unforgiving surfaces. So I have photos and videos somewhere of all the bruises and things that I have from being like hurled onto concrete and dragged across concrete and thrown onto tiles and having like bottles smacked over my head. And it was a very actually like me and the person that plays the giant cockroach, we had a lot of scenes where we were like physically fighting, and I kept telling him, I was like, hit me harder, like it's fine, it's totally fine, even though it was definitely not fine. So I ended up with like bruises on my ribs from being punched and just all this crazy stuff. So I just hope that anyone watching that realizes that I very much put a lot of my body into that performance.
commitment to your craft, right?
Absolutely, anything for the band.
Now, I want to touch on the fact that we're seeing some wonderful representation of the LGBTQIA plus community in your band, which I feel like is, I mean, I think it's lacking a little bit in the music industry in general, but particularly in the heavy music scene. As someone who considers themselves an ally that's constantly learning, can you talk me through what this community means to you and how you feel representing it in this heavy music world?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, like I'm going through my own process of transitioning at the moment. So I'm just starting like hormones and going through that. And I'm really happy to be open about that because I think that it's something that even people that want to be allies don't have a lot of information and context on because of course everyone's journey with that is really different, and some people don't want to be really open about that, and some people want to just simply present the way they want to present, and that's totally that's wonderful, and I love that. And there's a lot of me on the inside that also kind of wants that as well. But I think that especially because I've come from the heavy music background for my entire life since I was really young. Even when I was a kid, my dad was sort of in the heavy music world as well. So I had grown up not really having any kind of context around me for what was going on internally. So I actually didn't know what was going on with myself for a long time. And this was the primary community that I was in. So all my friends are from this like world of music, this world of heavy music and alternative music. And I think for me, if I like looking back on when I was younger, I would really have loved to have had people around representing this side of things so that I could have known, oh, maybe this is actually something to think about. Maybe this is what's going on with me. So I think that in general, like it's important everywhere to have representation. And in this genre that I love, like, and it's the best part of the heavy music community and the alternative sort of music community is how close knit and supportive it is. It's just
It
a
really
wonderful
is,
community.
right?
Yeah, like it's, you go to other shows. I go to like hip hop shows and different shows, and you watch people kind of fall in the pit and not really be helped up. And then you go to like a heavy music show, and as soon as someone falls, like 8 hands come down to pick you up to make sure you're okay. And it's a really, it's a really wonderful sort of community for that. So it was really important to me to be really open about this, because I hope that if there are people sort of out there that are in this world that maybe encounter our band, that they can see someone that's, like representing that side of things, that maybe that can help them understand something about themselves. Or maybe if they just aren't confident enough to be outward about that at that point in time, maybe that gives them a little bit of confidence to present the way they want to present. And especially in a music scene that is, it's pretty masculine and pretty male dominated.
Yeah.
But it's changing. There are some wonderful bands like sort of going around already that are really changing that. So I think in continuing that progress that it's already making, I really feel it's important to have trans representation, to have queer representation, to have just every kind of representation, so that not only can we find people that are already listening to this kind of music and within this music scene, but hopefully that brings more people over to our wonderful community. Because if there's anything that we all want for the heavy music world, it's that we want to grow it. We want more people involved, and we want to introduce people to the wonderful world of our heavy scenes. So that's why it's really important to me, and that's why I'm choosing to be quite open about it.
Well, I just want to, before we get on to anything else, like hand on my heart, thank you for feeling so comfortable to be so open. And you, at the very, very least, have my full support. And it's really, really nice to be able to chat to you about it. And I'm very, very passionate about women in the music industry in general, and I think that we're heading in the right direction. So let's just keep that momentum going. And you're right, it is so inclusive. I feel like at the end of the day, we're all a bunch of misfits, right? Like, it's seen as like this sort of outside of the norm thing to listen to heavy music. So like, let's just continue to embrace each other. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. And like, it's one of those things that I try to come across as confidently as I possibly can, but I promise you there's plenty of nerves and anxiety sort of coming along with it. So it's just, even just the really nice sort of remarks and wonderful compliments and lovely words and everything mean a lot, because it's there's a lot of feelings going on the inside as well in doing this. So yeah, but no, absolutely, let's absolutely keep progress going in the right way, so that we can have just a really wonderful equal balance of just wonderful, weird, vibrant, wacky, like amazing humans, just from
Hell
every single
yeah.
corner of every background. Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. All right, I want to touch back to the track for one quick second, and then we'll wrap up. But you might not be able to tell me. I know you've touched on that you have a lot of music coming and you've got heaps in the bank, but when this song ends, like, it's so fast and punchy. And the song, I feel like the song, if a song could end on a cliffhanger, this song ends on a cliffhanger. So I guess I wanted to ask you, is there kind of like a part two, or like when the EP comes out, is it going to flow into something else, or at the very least give us an idea as to what's in store for new music?
Yeah, it's so this song is part of an EP which has 4 tracks and an interlude, and what that interlude seamlessly goes into another track. But all the tracks we try to sort of flow in fairly sort of like semi-seamlessly. They all kind of stand alone though. So, but at the same time, like thematically, they all touch on sort of similar sort of concepts and everything, but coming from different angles in each track. And sonically as well, like within the heavy world, within these 4 songs, we've kind of touched on 4 different styles of heavy songs within this. Like, this track is, I guess, like has everything from like your sort of hip hop, new melodic elements, to a little bit of like, sort of throwback to like your scratching and things like that. And which was actually done by Kim's dad, who is a really really wonderful, successful producer in Germany, and and a successful DJ. And he's like the most wonderful human as well. So, but whereas we have some other tracks that go even heavier and really into heavy vibes, and some that go into slightly progressive sort of vibes, like prog vibes, and then others that go into kind of like traditional post-hardcore kind of vibes. So we kind of tried to explore lots of different versions of our own sounds, whilst exploring different sort of angles of the concept of allyship and everything sort of around that. So it is a part of something sort of bigger. We're going to have a pretty constant stream of music coming out, but even beyond that, we like past these, because these ones have a bit more of a dark vibe to it, and we've got some future tracks as well coming that even switch up a little bit again and sort of, you know, like touch on maybe some lighter vibes, but keeping the heavy sort of vibes going. So we have just an enormous stream of music, because like I swear, like every spare second that we have, like Kim and I sometimes are up until like 3 a.m, just like throwing concepts and things at each other, and like throwing little quiet voice notes in the middle of the night of like some ideas and stuff. So we just never seem to stop creating. So there's lots and lots and lots that is already recorded, already ready. So yeah, very, very excited to share that stream. But hopefully just off the bat that people really sort of enjoy the record, because it's the, I guess, the song that really sparked the kind of magic for us as a band. So hopefully that sort of resonates with other people as well.
Well, it certainly resonated hard with me. And honestly, from the moment I heard it, I thought to myself, if there's any part I can play in getting people to listen to this explosive track, I'll be happy. So please, if you are watching, if you're listening, stream the record right bloody now. It's on, it's out, it's on streaming services. The video, I believe, is out. You should be good to go. So and once you've listened, you can jump onto the Faction Facebook group or hit up the band on social media. Let's get this out there. I'm genuinely really excited about it.
Yeah, so if people want to find us, it's at 5 Island Drive, just one word, 5 Island Drive, on absolutely everything. And the video is out on YouTube as well, so please go and see it, because we put a lot of work and a lot of
hell yeah,
a lot of very late 5 a.m.
I feel like people need to listen to the video, listen to the song while watching the video for the first time. Like, I wish that was the first way I digested it, but at the same time, like, no matter how you get it, just get it in your ear holes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for just giving us the time and having this chat. It does really mean a lot to us.
Well, it means a lot to me too, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we chat. Thank you so much, Frankie.
Thank you so much.